Why? Why are computers bad? It is here, the time has finally arrived. We will be building my own personal rig for 2022 in this video. And oh, I'm out of breath already. And we haven't got started yet. This video is pretty much going to provide most of the meat of the build. It's almost like a test fit. We're going to put everything together. We're going to be running it on air cooling rather than custom loops that we'll be doing in a couple of weeks' time. I want to give this like a custom paint job and properly modify it. But before we get there, I want to actually make sure that the PC itself is not only going to work, but is going to be perfect for me. And for making these lovely videos for y'all. This is going to be one heck of a gaming PC, y'all. Hey, watch out, I'm walking here. Oh, I'm going to have no audience left by the end of this. But anyway, let's actually put all of this together, see if it works, and see if it's right for me, after a quick word from this video's sponsor. Gigabyte Era laptops are the one-stop solution for all of your creative and gaming needs. These slim and sleek machines look absolutely gorgeous, yet they pack in some serious horsepower. Coming equipped with NVIDIA RTX graphics cards, Intel 11th gen processors, and stacks of memory, these laptops are perfect for both work and play. Learn a little bit more today with that link down below. I don't normally do PC builds this big, because ultimately who needs like 8 terabytes of storage? Me. I've got every Call of Duty map ever installed. We talked about most of the components properly in a previous video, but I think the most important thing really for a lot of people is deciding on the case that they're going to use. And Corsair did answer the call, and they did send me this 5000D Airflow, and I've used the 4000, 5000, 7000 loads of times on the channel, and I think it is perhaps a little bit boring in the sense that so many people are going to have this case. It's not going to be the most unique out there. But as we mentioned, there is plenty of modifications I'm going to be making to this. Not at the very least just painting some of the panels. I mean, this would be really simple. You could quite easily spray this yourself, send it off somewhere and just get all of these things just to have a few different accents. Because we're going to be doing a custom loop, we're going to have plenty of radiators here, but we're not going to need something as overkill or something like the 7000D from Corsair, because frankly, for me, and I think for most people, that's just way too big. You can see that this really does open up quite nicely. All of the different bits and pieces do come out. It's quite modular and you can swap it around. So if you did actually want to upgrade this and maybe have like a glass panel on the front but then airflow on the top, you can do that. But then they do also give you the options of putting air or liquid cooling at the front and making loads of noise, and at the side here. And this is probably what we're going to do. Oh, it's been a while since I've screwed anything actually. I need the screwdriver. We got him. So let's start by removing this lower panel, and we'll swap it out for the larger radiator / more fans option. I don't think we're going to need this for this build, but we will for the final one. Now we can move on to the motherboard, and in the end, the one that we've gone for is the 690 Aorus Master from Gigabyte. This one has PCIe Generation 5, but support for so many different PCIe Generation 4 SSDs. I need so much storage for all of these videos, it's getting a bit silly. And I would also like 2 terabytes of storage for games. Because I am a gamer, I play a lot of Age of Empires 4, and some Halo, and some Apex, and some Warzone, and some Civ. No, I'm playing Batman again. I've worked my way through Asylum, I'm on City, then Origins, maybe Night, or do I skip Origins altogether? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Controversial. But the thing I'm actually looking for is one of these, a SATA cable. I haven't used one of these in a system in genuinely about 2 years, maybe slightly less than that, because I do have an 860 EVO Samsung SSD that I'll be using for storing all of the Resolve renders, all of the actual video files that I've done with. I don't need the speed because they're just H.264. Oh, this is sounding nerdy, too nerdy. This is a gaming channel, no video editing, not today. That comes tomorrow when I've finished this video, assuming it doesn't go wrong. You know you got a problem when PC Centric is too nerdy. But if you didn't see the last video, then this is what the motherboard looks like. It's a pretty neat bit of kit actually. It is very heavy, but as we've mentioned already, you've got so many M.2 slots underneath here. It's gonna be pretty good. I still haven't fully decided on the theme. I am actually thinking maybe we should go for clear cooling in like jet black tubing or something. That would look pretty cool, wouldn't it? We go for a blackout theme and then have like a little bit of RGB. But the first thing for me to actually do is to grab our CPU. This is the i9-12900K, and for me, I don't really think I need like X299 or Threadripper or anything. Like, it's nice to have extra cores and things, but bearing in mind this is quite literally a gaming PC and a video editing rig, I don't want to compromise on either. I think this makes sense. It doesn't for most gamers, to be honest. Just grab yourself an i7 or an i5. But if you do need those efficiency cores for any multi-threaded workloads, then this is definitely a very good option. Grab our CPU and drop this into place. I think they've actually done a bad job on this new socket. It is definitely a lot harder to install CPUs than the older one, which is a little bit annoying, and you need new mounting hardware, so older coolers need adapters. In terms of the RAM that we're using, this is supplied by Corsair. This is some Dominator Platinum RGB, and they've left this with me for some sort of sponsored projects that we're going to be doing later in this year. Essentially, I am actually stealing from Corsair here. Ha ha ha. This is, of course, some DDR5 memory. This kit comes in at 5200 megahertz, and the usual caveats apply, really, that you don't necessarily need DDR5 now, but in the future, and if you do want to be, well, future-proof, it might come into its own. Now comes the time to actually install our storage, and the only thing that does worry me slightly is that one of my SSDs has a heatsink on it. And this is one big plate, so using it is clearly not an option, and sometimes they don't come off very well. It's not actually that difficult to ruin the SSD. It gets me every time. Look, just look at that. That is an insane amount of storage waiting to be populated. But then the problem is we've got a FireCuda 530 from Seagate that was supplied earlier for a sponsored video that has this heatsink on, and I'm not convinced it's going to come off very well. But needs must, because we're also using the MP600 Pro from Corsair. This is a water-cooled SSD. And obviously I'm not going to take the block off of that, because that really wouldn't make sense. But neither does water cooling it in the first place. Just do it for banter, really. Here is our SSD and heatsink. Unscrew it from its housing, which should be fine if it's just thermal pads. But when they use the really sticky stuff that doesn't want to come off, it's then high risk. Moment of truth. Okay, so far so good. Big heatsink. Oh, and then this is where it gets slightly trickier. Can we get this out without breaking it? Oh God, we're gonna use a screwdriver. We're gonna use a screwdriver. This could go wrong. This could go wrong. Ugh, why? Oh, we got some wiggle. This seems like a terrible idea, and I do not recommend this at all. I'm gonna try some brains and use a heat gun. Like seriously, please don't try and prise that open. It is a bad idea. Don't want this to overheat, just heat up enough to make the glue sticky. I guess they're not really expecting people to take them apart. But you know, needs must. I need to take this off. I do think this is a real thing. It's gonna happen to people. Aha, I think we've done it. I think we have done it. I have bent it. That is not as straight as it once was. I mean, there's no guarantee this still works, but it does look fine to me. I'll tell you what, I have actually knocked off a tiny little bit of the solder on one of these. I think we might be all right, but this is definitely damaged. Then we can go again, but with the SSD that has actually been designed for this gaming computer. So that's 2 SSDs. Then we can go on to the even bigger boy, the MP600 Pro, a water-cooled SSD that, just to show you how it really doesn't need to be water-cooled, well, we're not going to be water cooling this straight away, and it will be fine. Let me know your thoughts on this. Do you like the look of this motherboard, or would you have gone for something else? Still time for me to change. Nothing's final. Not till it's hard-lined and like custom painted and it's done. Before we put the motherboard in the case, I do want to swap the fans out, and I'm sure Corsair would have loved for me to use Corsair fans with this one, but I want to do something different because I pretty much always use their fans. And there is another company that have just released some RGB flavored silent wings, or I think actually they're called pure wings, or RGB wings, what are they called? Light wings! That was actually a lot more appropriate now, wasn't it? No, it doesn't work. It does not work. You cannot get 3 140s at the front. Let's try that again then, shall we, with some 120s? Should just drop in. Yes, there we go. Oh, are you joking? It doesn't take 140s at the back. I'm just so used to my P600S, which is the same size of this, and it can take 140s at the front and at the back. That'll be a future Marcus problem then to add, but in the meantime, we can at least put our motherboard in the case. And as always, Corsair make it nice and easy as the standoffs are pre-applied. Now we can add our traditional 2.5-inch SSD. Probably done this a million times at this stage. But on this chassis, you do at least get these bays here. Just screw them onto the back of this and you're away. Then when you're done, it just drops in like that. Makes a big noise. Now these definitely are 120s as well, so if you want to grab yourself something bigger than that, again, remember it's just not going to fit. Forgot that you couldn't see me then. This is a good angle, isn't it? We are going to be using an all-in-one liquid cooler as a little bit of a temporary measure here, because I want the system to look good, and I want you to sort of see what it could look like if you build it yourself. I think the best place for this is going to be at the top. If you're getting a 360, then I imagine putting it in this gap here would probably look best. You just do have to be a little bit careful with airflow, because if you are bringing hot air in here, while you're not blocking these fans, you are obviously giving extra hot air to your GPU. Depends whether you want to prioritize your CPU or your GPU. But to be honest, if you are populating all of the fan slots, you're not really going to have much of an issue with airflow. Apparently that's my new favorite catchphrase as well. To be honest this, to be honest that. We need to bring in some lies. I'm just not a cool guy. ML RGB Elite fans, I think these ones are. Definitely feel a lot cheaper than the original ML Pros, but I guess they probably are, as long as they work the same. I'm not 100% on that look, to be honest with you, especially with the light bladed fan and then the Be Quiet ones, but obviously this is only temporary. Oh, just come on. Come on now. Grab some thermal paste and give it a good old squeeze. It is a little bit of a bigger chip, this one, so you can be a bit more generous. And then use the thumb screws to fix it into place. I've fast forwarded through pretty much all of the boring bits. We've now got all of the fans installed. Again, I've now realized that 140s just basically don't work in this case at all, because if you want to fully populate everything, 120s is the way to do it, because at the moment we've got these sort of gaps at the top and I don't think it looks great. So in the next video, we're going to swap out all of the fans for 120 light wings, because I think that will look optimal. But otherwise, you can see we've got all of our cable management really done, everything plugged in, the usual affair. It's now time to install a power supply, and this is also a little bit of a stopgap solution. The reason that I'm saying this is because I'm just going to use my own personal HX1200i that's in my own system, but until this is working properly, obviously I don't want to swap it out. So we've got an RM850i, which should be fine for the 3080 Ti system that we're going to be building. We've got custom cables. This one is from Cable Mod. This cost me like 30 quid plus shipping, so it wasn't cheap. But then we also have our box of Pro PSU kit from Corsair that they supplied a couple of years ago. We're going for white and black theme today. Power supply is a little bit of a weird one, because as long as it works, then it's fine. But a lot of people don't realize that some of them make a whole ton of noise, and it can actually be noisier than the rest of your system if you've gone for really quiet components. So please don't skimp on it. So let's drop this into place. Easily does it. Run all of the cables through. This is very easy when you've not got that bar in the case. And then I think that leaves just one final component, which was the original. It is the OG, the 3080 Founders Edition, the thing that actually started off this whole 30 series craze. And it's absolutely mental to me that you still can't really get hold of one of these, definitely the Founders Edition. There are rumors that these will be replaced this year. I have no words. But just like the power supply, the 3080 Ti is actually my personal system being used to play games, but mainly to actually render these videos, and actually this video. So we use this for now, and then we'll swap it out later when we know, again, everything works. Because I don't want to go without a gaming PC, and I need to remove the slot covers as well. Let's pick up our 3080, let's drop it into place. Boom, nice click there. It was very loud actually, almost worrying. And then finally, grab our lovely 12-pin cable that looks a lot better than the stock. Connect this up, and then there you have the PC Centric, personal-ish rig, sort of done. Not normal words for this channel. There are so many mistakes with this system, but this was precisely why I wanted to do it now, because there's no way you're going to do like a full hardline loop in one go and not realize that there are some things you want to change. But I am still slightly worried about that SSD and whether I have broken it. So let's get this thing turned on and ultimately see if it works. Pray that it works. In terms of cable management, by the way, well, it's okay. I haven't really done it yet because, as I say, a lot of this is temporary. But do remember you do get this little bar thing that does go on the side, but it doesn't close. It's the same problem that you started with, really. Here we go. Moment of truth. Are we going to be cooking on gas? Bacon with Wi-Fi? Not really sure that makes sense. Let's give it a go. Okay. Well, it's definitely doing something, which is good. That RAM looks fantastic, doesn't it? Come on, come on. If it power cycles that many times, it's not normally good news. A2. A2! Yes! I don't know what that means, but I'll take it. I'll take it. Oh, it's restarting again. Oh. Okay, so it's restarted and it definitely hasn't died yet, which is good. It's promising. But how many drives are there going to be? If I've destroyed a £400 SSD, I will be really sad. That is tragic. I know I've done it in the name of science, sort of, but I think I would have let myself down. Well, that's good, isn't it? System is also very quiet, by the way. It's just the pump that's making noise. That's good. I mean, now it's just not doing anything. Why? Why are computers bad? Ah, there we go. There we go. We've done it, ladies and gentlemen. Please be 4 drives. 4 drives. I mean, it's now only showing 1 drive. And I don't know what drive that is. Oh my gosh. Something's not right here. And on that note, it's time to end this video. Thank you so much for watching. It appears there is a lot of troubleshooting and working out what's going on. My future is going to be fun, but don't worry, I will be bringing you along for the ride. If you've enjoyed this video, smash that like button, get subscribed. If you want to check out anything that's actually in this system and potentially pick something up yourself, you can find my Amazon affiliate links listed down below. And of course, while you're down there, don't forget to check out Gigabyte's awesome Aero laptops. Available in both 15 and 17-inch flavors, these RTX Studio machines are perfect for cruising through workloads by day and then crushing AAA games by night. With both OLED and HDR screens available and specs to meet any creator's need, portable creativity has never been more empowering. Get yours today with that link down below. Thank you so much for watching, smash that like button, get subscribed, and I'll see you in the next one.